Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is actually our first general meeting of 2022, and I would like to give a presentation on the proposed new church for the New Life Church in 2022. So let's just imagine. It's a time to imagine. Imagine that we have our own building for 2022. Imagine building our own place, developing our own place. Imagine the music team having their own place that they can develop and they can come and go as they want and set up things as they want. Imagine not having to move all the heavy equipment. Imagine not having to set up the chairs. Imagine all the preliminaries that we do will be gone. This is all part of our vision. Imagine not setting up the chairs. Imagine the children having their own place. We can only imagine these things. So New Life Church is in its 12th year. I've only been here probably just over a year, but you're now in your 12th year. And Pastor Ricky, it has become clear, has got a vision. He's got a vision that we have our own building, our own church, somewhere we can call a permanent home. So we have an opportunity now, right now, for that vision to be one step closer. This is an opportunity to be one step closer. Last Tuesday, Brother Rod, Pastor Ricky, Sister Alma, and myself, we went to visit this new building in the middle of Midland. And for me, it seemed fine. So all I can do is present it to you. I've got a bit of a PowerPoint thing here. It's not really explains everything, but most things. So I'll just start to work my way through the PowerPoint. Okay, we're ready. So welcome everyone. This is our PowerPoint presentation for our new church. Okay, like I mentioned, this is our first annual assembly meeting for 2022, and it's our proposed new building. So our senior pastor, he actually commissioned us. He commissioned us to look out for a new building. It has been our challenge. It's been our the challenge that he gave us to look for a new building. And most people have been keeping their eyes out and their ears to look for this building. And after weeks of search, I think we've found something that could be suitable. So let's just work our way through this. So the actual address is 291 Great Eastern Highway, Midland, as you can see. The information at the bottom there I'll talk about later, but that's the address. It's actually in the centre of Midland itself, through the main street. Maybe some of you have actually been there and you know the place. Okay, so this is actually the building, the top, the large square at the top, is the building. Now I've got a pointer here. Let me show you. So at the top building here is the proposed church. So from that window to that window would be the church. That would be the front of the main auditorium. Down in the small square here is the entry point. That's where we walk in off the street. You walk in, you go up some steps, turn left, up some more steps, and you're into the building. So we're not actually at the bottom, we're at the top level. Okay? And this is the aerial view. So the green area here is looking at it from the above. Again, you've got Great Eastern Highway running through. And you've got parking as well along the front here. Bear in mind, this is Sunday morning. So there should be vacant car parks here. You can actually park in here. So that's the actual building. And the number 2 just depicts that we're on the second level. We're not on the first level. Right, this is the proposed plan view, the development. So if you think about the front window is along here. So this is the street level here. Great Eastern Highway runs along here. And this is the plan view of the auditorium. So this is our proposal. So in this corner here would be proposed to have the music team in this corner. They can create a stage either across the corner or square, however they think is best. So at the moment that's what it looks like inside. So you've got PowerPoints and it's a blank canvas basically, so we can do what we want. So in the bottom left-hand corner, that's inside the auditorium. So this is looking from the window, so looking from this way towards the back. As you can see the agent and people we spoke to at the back of the church. So you can see it's quite a big area. It's at least as big as this area here that we're in. So the carpet, as you can see, is in pretty good condition. There's no real worn patches or anything. The lighting is really good because actually it used to be an old pool place or a snooker place. So they need really good lighting for that. So that's the auditorium. So at the bottom, we can see this is the stairwell. So as we come in off the street, we go up these stairs here, which is coming up the stairs here, and then we turn left. So that's the entry point of the church. I will actually talk about that later on. This is just simply the toilets. There are men's and women's toilets, separate. And again, I'll talk about the upgrade of that later. So, in all these things, we have the stage, which will be, we can do as we want. At the moment, we can't do it. We're limited to where the projector is. So the plus is that we can put that where we want. The downside here is that we're limited to where we can have it. Same with the auditorium. We can put things exactly where we want and we're not limited. There will be changes. We can change the entry point. The plus side of being here is that we're all on ground level. Here we have to walk up some stairs. So there's a little bit of a negative there, but we can talk about that later. Also, the toilets, this toilet block, is inside the building. So somewhere in this area here, these toilets. So you don't have to keep going outside the auditorium like we do here, and then banging the door when there's a service, when there's somebody preaching or whatever. Okay? So this actually shows, it doesn't actually, it's not quite the right picture for the children's room. This here is really this. So over to the left-hand side, which is just more or less out of shot there, is where we would put the children's room. Now, this is the real selling point, because here we actually don't have a children's place anymore. We get restricted or told we can't use it. Here, it's up to us. We can build a children's room. This is very easy to build. You only need some sort of board. What they've used here to partition is just board, like you can see there. So we can do something similar and create a children's room or a children's area. So we're not limited. The children then have got somewhere to be. Also, I took a photo of this new air conditioning unit. In there, they've just fitted a brand new Daikin air conditioning. And it's super, it's nice and cool in there. It was a hot day when we were there. And he put the air conditioning on. And within 10 minutes, the whole room was cool. So this is brand new. And it's also reverse cycle. So in winter, we'll be able to heat the place. So this is, there's one probably in this area, and one in this area. So now I'm going to talk about what is our target development. So again, we're only limited by our imagination of what we can do here. So in the top left-hand corner, this is just an internet photo to show what sort of dynamics you could have in the music team. The stage, the lighting, whether it's square like here or across the corner, it's up to the guys, it's up to the team. They know better than us, so that's just an idea. But you can see how you could easily transform with lighting and colours what we need. The auditorium itself, again, you can add all the colours and lighting and seating just as we want to do it. Again, we're pretty limited in here because we've only got one place. But if there is a stage in this corner, then you could actually put the seating in an arch fashion like this, across the corner like this. Or you could do it straight like we have. It's up to us. But bear in mind, once the chairs are in, they're in. We're not packing up chairs every Sunday. So that's basically the auditorium area, and the lighting and the colours can be easily changed. Okay, so this is the console where the control room, same as where Sister Kate is now. So again, this is a photo, I think maybe Pastor Ricky took this photo. So this is the area that was proposed to have that. You could have it in like an arch shape, or again square, but in this corner. This wall here, this wall down here, could actually be moved further this way. There is actually some wasted space between that wall and the stairs. So we could actually take that wall down. The agent, the owner, told us we could move anything. We could take walls down, we can paint, we can do whatever we want inside the place. He's given us permission to do that. So that wall there, that one, can be moved this way a little bit. So that the control booth would be here somewhere. Now, this is the proposal for the stairs. I don't know if you can all see that. Now, the theme with this is safety. The thing about this is safety. The original stairs, as you can imagine, are quite steep. For disabled people, for babies, for people with pushchairs and things, it's quite steep. So the proposal straight away would be to change it to something like this. Like I said, the owner, the agent said we can change things. So in this way, this would be a much less steep angle because it's a spiral staircase. And at the same time, we could actually add a powered disabled seat which actually goes up the side of the stairwell by its own power. So these are things that we can do to make it more easy for people to get in and out. The toilets, like I said, along with all the painting inside the auditorium, we can repaint. So the toilets, essentially all they need is a bit of a modernisation look. You know, put new symbols on, just paint around, make them brighter. You know, these are the things that you do. So there's nothing wrong with the toilets, and like I said, they're separate, men's and women's. So it's just a case of painting. Start with the children's room. The children's room, of course, we're limited by our imagination. So whatever is required inside here, all the toys, the teaching aids, books, colours, whatever they want to do, toys, we can put it all in there. Here at the moment we can't do anything, we're very limited. Also, we propose to build an office for Pastor Ricky, just a small office somewhere here. Of course, you know, Pastor Ricky deserves his own office. I think you'd all agree. And this would then have the internet. We would get the internet fitted, and so that these rooms then, both of these rooms, will be probably utilised during the week. You can use these as interview rooms, or prayer rooms, or practice rooms. Pastor Ricky can have meetings with people during the week. You know, it's all open to us what we want to do. But again, it would be quite easy to make partitions like this. You know, that's probably not the finished design, but that's just a good idea of what we can do. Okay? So, that's the proposal. And I think that's pretty good. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the liabilities, the costings. Over in the left-hand side, over here, the estimate of all those changes and painting and partitions and rooms and stairs is approximately $50,000. That's a very approximate figure that Pastor Ricky came up with. So that's really what we're looking to do. Probably the stairwell will be the most expensive, depending. So that's really the cost of doing what we propose there. Plus the outgoings as well, our monthly rentals and our liabilities. Now this is where it comes to what we would call the lease or the rent. Okay, so the $22,500 is per annum. That's per year. So we add to that this figure down here, $8,500, which comes to, what's that, $31,000. Then the GST would be added on, which is usually 10%. So where are we now? 34,100, somewhere in that area. We divide that figure by 52 weeks. And the figure, I think Pastor Ricky knows the figure, was it 675, was it, Pastor? Yeah, so I think the figure is around about 675 per week. In this building, we're paying already $500 and something. So that's just for the weekend. That's just our limited time here. And for the extra 100, let's say it's $150 more. We have the building to ourselves. We can do what we want during the week. For that extra little bit, really. And so we have our independence and we have control of the building. And like I said, the agent and the owner have been very gracious with us. They said that we can do what we want. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, so Pastor Ricky as well has already appointed a surveyor. The surveyor will lodge our application for changes in the building. We need to have a surveyor. So he's already done that, and it will be lodged with the City Development Office, as you can see. So these are the things that we need to do. We can't just do things as we want. We've got to do things in the official way. And the structure, as well, is appointed an official architect. So we have to have a proper architect. What architects will do, will look at, say, for example, the stairwell, and the stairwell might have supporting walls. So if they've got supporting walls, then changes may not be able to be made. So we require an architect to do that. So the architect and the surveyor will look at those things. Okay, so next one. That's it. Okay, so do we have any questions?
Pastor Brian, you know, with that 50,000 estimated cost of doing this renovation of the building,
Yeah.
where we are going to get that money and how?
Good question. Good question, Sister Gertrude. Actually, these costings, Pastor Ricky will sort out. This is for something, we're going to have another meeting in 2 weeks. So obviously we've got to discuss, he's got to look at how this can be achieved. So unless somebody's got $50,000 in their pocket, we will look at the ways that we can achieve the 50,000. It's only an estimate. It might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more. And everyone in this room, most people in this room, most of the working guys here, have got some sort of engineering background, building skills, whatever, so we can actually chip in. So that figure may be a lot less. We don't know. Good question.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions?
Is there any other church around?
Yes, there are. Gertrude and I actually went out there to have a look. Pastor Ricky's familiar with all the churches in Midland, but there is actually one Pentecostal church about 10 minutes the west side of Great Eastern Highway, and the east side there is a Baptist church. I think there's the Baptist church is Bellevue Baptist, and the Pentecostal church is Collective Hope Pentecostal. So there are churches around, but you know, remember that the Filipino church is a unique church. We are a unique church with unique visions to help the Filipino community and to assist the Filipino community make connections in both church, friendships, their jobs, all these things. So if we go there, we're still quite unique. We're not going to be the same as the churches there. But a very good question, Pastor. Any other questions?
Pastor Brian, moving to that new place, how does it align to our mission and vision?
How does it align to our mission and vision?
Yeah.
Well, it's perfect. It fits perfectly because, like we said, we need to be independent with the times we want to be there. So we can be there 24/7, 7 days a week. So we can reach out to the local community. We've got an opportunity to reach out into the Midland community. There may be opportunities there for evangelism and these things. So, good question, Pastor, but it will fit in perfectly, in my opinion.
Pastor Brian, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so, yes.
What about those people that are far from the place?
Oh, okay, right. Of course, for some of us, we would be traveling a little bit further. Some people would actually be closer for us to travel, or really no different to them. For Gertrude and myself, it doesn't bother us. But there are people like, I don't think she's here today, but Sister Sunshine is away, all the way down in Yokai. And Gertrude and I have been picking her up. So for us, it would be quite a long loop in the morning. Anybody else wants to volunteer to pick up Sunshine, if they're a bit closer, they can. But if not, it's okay. Gertrude and I will continue to do that. So there are people who are further away. You yourself, Sister Lucy, you are actually, would be further for you. But at the moment, Sister Faye is picking you up. And she would probably continue to do that.
Of course.
But we all love God. We all want to be in God's presence.
Amen.
Sister Josie, for example, she comes from quite a distance already, and so it's no problem for her. It's no problem for her. So if it's no problem for her, what about the rest of us? It's all for God's glory anyway.
Amen.
Okay? Amen. Amen. Okay, so just to summarize, for 2022, we have an opportunity here to have our own building. This presentation is actually just showing you the pros and cons. Nothing is set in stone. This is for you guys to discuss. So we've gone through the pros and cons as against this building. So from costings to availability to stairs to equipment, we've gone through what I think are the important things, and not least the children. We have to think of the children. There are a lot of children in this church. So not only that, the children and the access for the children. So that's, in my opinion, would be such a huge advantage if we have our own building. We've been praying for this. The thing is, it's probably mentioned in Pastor's sermon earlier, we've been praying for this now. So now God answers prayers. This is an opportunity for us. This is an opportunity for us. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. I'm sure you may have some questions between now and 2 weeks' time. Pastor Ricky will give another talk in 2 weeks' time. So think about it. Think about the pros rather than the cons. And we will reach our goal in God's timing. Amen? Amen. Amen. Okay, thank you all for listening. Thank you.